ladies and gentlemen. This is Hans the Ramen Raider coming at you with another episode of Instant Noodle Recipe Time. A fantastic, fanciful, and fancy-free show about instant noodles and what I do with them. Don't worry about what other people do with other things. What we got today is some Sapporo Ichiban Miso, but I've got a special recipe for it that was sent to me by a guy named Joe in the UK. Hey, what's up, man? And today we're doing our third episode of Q&A with the esteemed colleague, friend, and general person, Matthew Bella. He wrote a book called Letters from Jet, and they're basically, it's letters and insight and commentary on these letters. He traded back and forth with a guy who was a psychopathic serial killer, sexual deviant, crazy son of a bitch. So, yeah. And we will go right into our next question. How you doing, man?
Hey, thanks for having me on the show today.
You know it, you know it. Okay. What did you learn from your conversations?
I learned more about the why of why he did it. I learned more about why he did it, which leads to the how we can prevent it in the future. And that was what it was all about to me. As one of my major intentions.
Some of that guy's quotes were just like, what was that one? There's that one that you told me that was just like so contrived, like.
Yeah, that was in the text. Here's what the book opens with. It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. That's not his words. That's Jiddu Krishnamurti. So that he was really into like the Taoism and Buddhist philosophy and stuff like that. Well, not Buddhist philosophy, but Eastern philosophy.
It's funny though, because you can use really logical words and push them to your agenda really easily. It's like
yeah, you can. Yeah, you absolutely can.
I mean, you could take, I don't know, I hate to use such a term, but like the golden rule, and say you liked stabbing people, so and being stabbed. So
do unto others.
Yeah, you know.
Like, I like getting stabbed. Why don't other people like getting stabbed?
Exactly. It's like, I like large amounts of fire ants thrown on my genitalia, but you know, most people don't. I don't like them. They don't like the biting. I don't know why, but all right. Anyway, what we got here? Did your opinion change about death row from what your belief system was before starting the okay, so did your opinion about death row inmates and the concept of death row changed with your more you talk to this guy?
So there's a few things here, actually. So first of all, I was never a proponent of capital punishment, right? So I that was my position throughout this entire thing, and that did not change.
Right.
I didn't, I'm no more in favor of capital punishment now than I was before I started corresponding with him. He actually has his blog where he talks about life on death row, and I read about some stuff that goes on there, and it made me hate it even more. Okay, but most of all, in his letters, he compared execution, state-sanctioned execution, to human sacrifice to the gods back in ancient times, and he made a very compelling comparison of this subject, where the human people were being sacrificed to appease the gods, to bring rain or get crops or whatever, and nowadays we're doing it to appease the god of society, right? So it's the same comparison, and he referenced this book, he recommended this book that I read, Dying for the Gods. It's about the comparisons between human sacrifice in the ancient world and modern state-sanctioned executions. And that was really interesting. So in that, I'm not saying I completely agree with them, but I mean, I don't see why not, I mean, at first glance. But so that was part of a broader perspective that I gained on federal executions, the death penalty, death row in America.
I think if you're going to put personally, the thing that I've never understood, two concepts I've never understood about the jail system.
Yeah, what's that?
good time, and when you have, and you get like death row. If you're going to sentence someone to execution, freaking execute them. I don't understand.
Okay.
You know, I understand that there's
So-
going to be like a certain amount of appeals process and da 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 da
Yes.
da, but 30 years? No, that's stupid. That's basically really costly for one thing. Although, how do you put a price on human life? But then again, it's like I don't like state-sponsored executions just because it's like that means the government is hiring or the state or whatever authority is hiring somebody to kill somebody. It's like, it's okay, you know, it's your job. You got to push this button or inject this into this person. But I don't like that. I mean, that's like, that's hardcore.
So yeah, if we're saying that killing people is wrong, then why do we kill people? You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's pretty
Right.
basic
That's
stuff.
That's the simplest kernel of it that's always been there for me, and I just kind of built my philosophy around that. So,
Yeah.
there's three things in what you just said there. First of all, executing people is execute. There is, and which you acknowledge, there is an automatic appeals process that happens whenever someone is sentenced to death. And that can take up to 10 years, like, you know, but longer. There, I don't know, like you said 30 years. I don't know if anyone has been sitting on death row for 30 years. Maybe it's happened, but it's usually not that long. But then the governor has to sign off on that, and that is a political act, right? So
Yeah.
under certain administrations, you'll get a moratorium on executions, and then another guy will step in and say, okay, let's clean this up, right? So
Yeah.
that's how it happens. You're really at the ebb and flow, and the mercy and the whims of the political currents of the politics in the capital of the state that you're you know, under which you're sentenced. Or Mr. Duncan was sentenced in Idaho, I believe, or at least he was sentenced in a federal courthouse. So he went to federal penitentiary in Indiana, and so it would still have been the governor of theirs. Or since it was a federal execution, maybe it was, I think it was a presidential thing. And during the tail end of the Trump administration, they started whacking people.
Yeah.
So he was on the list. He was about to probably go through it, but he got brain cancer.
And then he got out of it. Yeah.
Just out of his execution. Yeah, he died in the hospital bed.
That's crazy. All right. Well,
That's crazy.
we have our alarm, and now we have our recipe. So what we're taking is the sachet from this Sapporo Ichiban Miso, and we're gonna drop it in this pot
Ooh.
like it's hot. Drop it in the pot. Drop it in the pot. Okay.
Nice. Very
It's
nice.
in the pot. Go, 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 go. Hot stuff. And then we've got the garlic. I think I did this the right way. Dude who I saw the video doing it, he said one minced clove of garlic. I mean, it's obviously not minced or shaved or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But two might have been better. Two grated ones might have been better. And then we also have the little mini spice sachet. It's basically, I'm guessing shichimi, togarashi, but like slightly proprietary blend of Sanyo Foods / Sapporo Ichiban. So we'll drop that in too. I think, did I don't know. I don't know. Here we go. Now I know. Now it's in there. I was having a sachet issue. That seems to be resolved now. So we got the seasoning, the powder, and the garlic. Now we're dropping in an egg. And now this is weird. Yeah, we're dropping in a whole egg.
Yeah.
And now we're going to stir it up. So here we go.
Stir it up.
Ooh, darling, stir it up! So we're stirring it all up. This is what I saw in the video. I watched the video. I hope I'm doing it correctly. Okay, and now we dump the soup and the noodle in.
Very cool.
And it's supposed to be like freaking where it's at, according to Japanese people in Japan. Now we'll stir it all together. And it's got what did he call it? Koku? Like it's unctuous or something. I think it's gonna be more like sibura, which is like processed pork back fat. I think what they do is they take the fat and render it down into like a powder.
Ooh.
This looks promising.
Unlucky for pork.
Well, pork doesn't have a good day generally in Japan, that's for sure. Unless you like to eat pork and your pork. If you're the meat that you like to eat, the meat you like to eat is you. So let's give this a try. Where's my big spoon? And my big spoon. So as you can see, it looks kind of creamy, milky.
I can't wait to see it on the show. Yeah. It sounds magnificent. Sounds beautiful, though.
Thank you. Go play. I'm almost done. It's good. I'm not like... I don't know, I like it, but I'm not like losing my head over it. The egg and the garlic, it's basically all you're doing with this is, oh, I forgot. You're supposed to add Kewpie mayo too. That's like the whole thing, and I got my mayo. We may have to redo this.
Get in there, get in there.
I'm working it. I'm working the action. Oh my God.
Touch that, the mayo.
Oh, no.
Thank God you remembered.
Thank
Is it okay?
God. So what I'm gonna do, so if I dumped it in right now, it would just be a big clot of mayo. So what I'm gonna do is, in the pot that I used initially, I'm gonna put some of the mayo in here. And then add a little bit of the broth and stir that up, and then add that to the mixture. They mentioned it was like, oh, what do you call it? Like a tablespoon or more. The guy said tablespoon. Oh, yeah. It sure looked like he was putting a crap load in. Let's see. All right, I'm calling that good. So there's our goo. And let's add in, here, let me get a measuring implement. Oh, here's some liquid. Just watch, somebody will be like, well, you can't do it that way because blah, 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 blah. People get weird. Here we go. See? We can do it this way. We are doing it this way. And this is the way it's being done. So there. Not the way I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it just like it said. But I was all...
Yeah, of course.
I got really sidetracked.
Oh, it's okay.
My...
Fix it. I know I'm a fascinating interview.
So what would have happened if what do you think would have happened to this guy if he never did the first thing that got him into prison? If he was like, you know how like, what if he like went and somebody was like, hey man, let's go to the store and get some candy, or let's go to you want to come to my pad and check out this new album? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And he never did any of this stuff, like the initial stuff. What would he have done? What kind of person would he have been?
He would have been. He was interested in computers, so he was going to school for computer science.
He could have been the next Bill Gates, is what you're saying.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, he could be getting divorced right now.
Yeah. And you know what he'd probably do? He'd probably go crazy and kill. You never know.
Yeah, maybe Bill Gates is going to be a serial killer now.
I hope not. I have great respect for Bill Gates.
Yeah, me too.
I like the 5G. I feel the 5G coursing through my veins. And honestly, I think it's idiotic to give intellectual property rights free range for a vaccine. I think that's a bad idea. What are your thoughts on that?
Privatizing health, privatizing vaccines. So Bill Gates, let's just be real about that.
No.
What's that?
That shit needs to stay private, dude. Would you want to have the amount of QA that's done on our vaccines right now is through the roof.
Sure. Yeah, I think it, so you're saying privatizing vaccines versus government? Like, what are you saying exactly?
There's a lot of push to have like the Pfizer vaccines intellectual property released free range.
Oh wow!
Like open source, and I don't think that's a good idea whatsoever. You're gonna have
why not?
People who want to profit off of it, bad actors who aren't working with good QA, and then end up making a dose that goes out, gives a bunch of people a bunch of like thalidomide deformities, or just like kills a bunch of people, and then nobody's gonna get any vaccines.
So would it be going through the same regulate? Who would they decide to disperse it to? I mean, how would it just be open for everybody, like on the Pirate Bay? You could just download it.
I'm guessing so.
That's insane. Or would it be sent only to specific facilities, and you couldn't just order it off the internet? Like you'd have to be like a research lab somewhere, or
you could right now.
Production.
Anybody could find that right now.
This is really the age of home genetic experimentation and production. It really is. You could buy DNA.
That always has been. Come on, what are kids? They're home genetic experiment.
Right. But like the home lab, you can grow viruses at home. You can experiment on vaccines and stuff at home. Yeah. You can work with CRISPR, the gene editing tool.
I love CRISPR. I can't wait till I want to play the home game. I think CRISPR is so cool.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of ways. I mean, dude, you can take a ham sandwich and some nails and make something that's lethal for people. If somebody really wants to make something and do something bad with something, they're gonna do it. CRISPR's no different. CRISPR's no different.
So in the last show we were talking about capitalism and altruism and how that's directly in conflict to the design of capitalism, which is competition. So it really comes down to people's intentions. What do you want to do with your wealth? What do you want to do with your home laboratory? What do you want to do with a vaccine? Like, you know what I mean? Do you want to make money off of it? Or would you mass produce it and distribute it for free to a bunch of people in your area who weren't able to get vaccines anymore?
I want to mass produce cheese.
What's that?
CRISPR cheese.
CRISPR cheese?
Why not?
Are you saying genetically edited cheese?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you'd have to genetically edit the cow, if you use CRISPR on the cow, and then produce the cheese from that.
And
so what would be the effect of this?
It'd be crispy.
Cheese.
It'd be crisp.
Oh, crispy cheese.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
It is.
Get on it
I'm trying to make that leap. Really.
Yeah, I'm gonna. All right.
Quantum leap.
Good job, man.
That's what I do. My job is done here. There we go. Oh, the children are doing their child thing. They've been so loud. Mimi was stepping on Miles' neck this morning. I don't know.
Cool.
No, not cool.
Yeah.
It's like, I said, don't do that. She just giggles. Is that a sign of a predisposition for anything bad, or?
To find out the keys to understanding psychopathy and sociopathy and serial killer tendencies in your own children, read my next book, How to Spot a Serial Killer by Matthew Bella.
A budding serial killer in the... Yeah. What dreams may come, how to find traits of serial killers in your children. God.
Yeah. It seems to be the question people ask us. How do you find these people?
It's a really hot button question right now. Thank you for doing the show.
Yeah.
I don't know about this mayo stuff. I've actually had mayo ramen from Japan. It's actually called mayo ramen. And it has like a strong flavor of mayonnaise. There's mayo ramen, there was mayo ube ramen, which is like pickled plum. There was mayo ramen with cow tongue, and there was mayo... What was the other one? I think that's as weird as it got, was the tongue. Yeah. And it tasted funky.
Pretty cool, man.
That was weird. But yeah, I mean... It's different. I think most people will be like, I don't know about that. Or somebody's going to say, you use too much mayo. Or somebody's going to complain. But poop on them. Poop on them. This is what you get. This is the Ramen Raider. I don't sugarcoat it. I bring you reality for real.
You sure did.
I mean, what kind of person reviews instant noodles and then does a show like this with an interview like this, I might ask you? Who else is doing this? Nobody. Is there a demand for it? No. But
we're creating a demand.
That's right. We demand to be creators. It's important. That's what I try to get my kids to understand. You just have to keep making stuff.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
It's true. Create something every day.
Yeah. Candy is delicious food. Eat some every day. All right, here comes... Whoa! Oh, you don't belong there. Rotato. Let's do this. Well, all of you, I'm going to tell you right now, should go over to Amazon.com and look up Letters from Jet, the new book from Matthew Bella. You can get it on Kindle, or you can get it actually as a print book, because tactile. I'm into tactile. You hold the book, you can hand the book to somebody who doesn't have a Kindle or doesn't know what that is, or gets cranky with technology. Luddites love books. So... But, yeah, any parting words? This has been just absolutely
Thanks
wonderful.
for having me on the show. Thanks for the discussion. Thanks for the platform. And good luck with your noodles today.
What's next? What's the next thing we have to look forward to?
I'm getting back into science fiction, so I did just release a print version of Fictionalia, which was my audiobook and a collection of short stories. So that's going to be out tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah, it's nice. I did up a nice cover and everything, and I'm proud of that one. I'm proud of that work. I'm getting back into science fiction. It's my main interest, and I've had enough of serial killers for a while.
Right on. Well, hey, go check out his book, and yeah. Well, it's the Ramen Raider wishing you enjoyment of your noodles each and every day. Have a good one, and bye.